I think the scenario with Jimmy Garoppolo is most intriguing is where it's a back and forth game, because if they roll, he would still probably be in there, but we could see a scenario similar to what we saw in the conference championship where he threw 9 times. Like that could happen. But if it's a back and forth game, then Garoppolo becomes, I think, really intriguing. If we look at the games that the 49ers won that were within 10 points this year, Garoppolo averaged 18.9 FanDuel points per game. In their blowout wins, it was 13.3. In their close losses, they didn't get blown out ever, so I don't have any data on that. But in their close losses, it was 10.9. And in both the blowout win and the close loss scenarios, like, I'd rather have someone else. Blowout win, I'll probably have him in there, because if the 49ers blow out the Chiefs, there aren't going to be a lot of players to score a lot of points. So he will still make sense there. But his biggest appeal is a back-and-forth affair, which means that I'm probably locking in Mahomes and Garoppolo in a lot of those lineups, which means I have to find value somewhere, but I think that's a worthwhile pursuit. How are you viewing Garoppolo for this game?
Yeah, so even if you start your lineups with Mahomes and Garoppolo, you have $10,000 on average for your final 3. Mm-hmm. You're probably not going to be able to get to Damian Williams, but if you're going with the quarterbacks, that makes sense. Raheem Mostert's 13.5, Damian Williams is 14,000, and then it's Travis Kelce at 12.5. So playing both is going to be a very common combination, but you can differentiate there in a lot of different ways. But we've been saying for most of the year that it's not so much that it's not like the 49ers are hiding Jimmy Garoppolo.
Right. They just don't need to use him.
Yeah. He's been very good. And whenever he's actually dropped back at least 35 times, he's averaged 295 yards per game, more than 2 touchdowns per game. Like, I'm not saying he can go toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes straight up, but just because the Chiefs put up points doesn't mean that Garoppolo can't keep pace to a degree. So I think that one of the most common and one of the easiest ways to get a little bit contrarian is if you're playing both quarterbacks, consider Garoppolo in the MVP slot.
Okay, yeah.
Just because if he has to throw more, he's shown the ability to do it. So
yeah,
I love Jimmy. I don't think by any means that he's as good of a play as Patrick Mahomes, but no. I really don't think that we need to be completely concerned about his 27 pass attempts through 2 playoff games.
How do you view Garoppolo in a lineup where you assume San Francisco rolls?
Then just because of how run heavy they can be with a lead, it's going to be more about Raheem Mostert and maybe trying to find the pass catcher who gets like his 1 touchdown, because there won't be a lot of yardage. So I'm less likely to play Garoppolo in lineups where I think the 49ers roll, but that's going to be the fewest percentage of my assumption lineups anyway.
I think that's the right way to view it. I could still see a scenario in which I use him there because he could still pay off pretty easily, but he's not at his most desirable assumption is a back and forth game.